According to a CNN health article published December 2019, 1 in 5 adolescents are pre-diabetic. This is insane. It used to be that only adults, older adults, had type 2 diabetes or developed type 2 diabetes, and now we're seeing adolescents, young children with type 2 diabetes. Hello, Big Dreamas. Yo, Lady Vitamin Katie is here. We're gonna have some fun, we're gonna get nerdy, we're gonna dive into some statistics, some research around avoiding depression and diabetes with plant-based nutrition. I am a plant-based registered dietitian and food freedom and body image coach. I would freaking love to help you feel so empowered and excited about taking charge of your health, taking responsibility for your headspace, for your confidence in your health future. And if you would like to work one-on-one together, please click the link down below to apply for a free initial consultation. And if you do not yet follow me on Instagram, follow me at vitamin.katie, and of course subscribe to this channel. Let's dive into this. Oh my gosh, avoiding diabetes and depression with a plant-based diet. According to a Massachusetts General Hospital press release published August 2019, diabetes treatment targets have not improved in the US since 2005. The press release states that our results suggest that despite major advances in diabetes drug discovery and movement to develop innovative care delivery methods over the past 2 decades, achievement of diabetes care targets has not improved in the US since 2005. As you can tell by the statistics I've mentioned so far in this video, there is a serious issue with diabetes in this country, and there's a lot that we can do to prevent and reverse this problem. According to an article in US News published in September 2019, research shows that plant-focused eating offers clearly positive outcomes for people with diabetes, with reductions in blood sugar, lipids, and body weight. In this article, it describes how there are many ways that eating plant-based can help with blood sugar. When it comes to lipid levels and heart health, this goes so hand in hand with diabetes, especially just knowing that heart disease is the leading cause of death still in the United States. Diabetes isn't necessarily as much of a cause of death as heart disease. People with diabetes usually end up passing away from heart disease because they go hand in hand. They're both quite chronic inflammatory issues, and people who have poor lifestyle habits that have diabetes also struggle with heart disease. So they're more likely to unfortunately pass from a heart disease related issue while they may also have diabetes. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that you recognize in taking responsibility to improve our blood sugars and our overall health, we're going to be vastly reducing our risk of dying from heart disease and therefore dying from coronavirus as well. And as you know, the holidays are coming up. Halloween just happened. Maybe you have candy in somewhere in your house. Maybe you are like so excited about all of the foods that you're going to be eating or trying all of the sugary baked goods going on right now. So this is a perfect time to really get excited about, oh my gosh, you know what? I don't want to be somebody who's unaware that I'm developing pre-diabetes and later on heart disease kind of a thing. So let's do something to take advantage of the research that we have out there around plant-based nutrition, and what is something that we can do to fix this, to fix these statistics and your personal health and your energy and you feeling amazing in the long term. All right, let's continue with this research, shall we? So did you know that vegan diets alter our microbiome? Our guts do a lot to prevent inflammation and to improve our headspace. They call the gut the second brain for a reason. 90% of our serotonin, our feel-good neurotransmitters, get produced in the gut. And if we're not feeding our gut prebiotic fibers to feed our good gut bacteria, it's pretty likely that we are gonna have a pretty bad mood. We might be more likely to be depressed or stressed. And of course, we're probably not gonna have very good digestion, but we're a lot more likely to have inflammation in the body as well, okay? And according to an article published in September 2019 about a 16-week intervention, a low-fat vegan diet induces changes in gut microbiota that are related to altered body composition and insulin sensitivity and result in weight loss, according to results of a randomized controlled trial in overweight and obese adults. And over the 16-week intervention, body weight was significantly reduced in individuals on the vegan diet compared with those who stayed on their everyday non-vegan diet, with weight loss of about 6 kilograms. In losing weight without restricting calories. The vegan diet had the same amount of calories as the controlled diet. These participants significantly improved their insulin sensitivity. So what is insulin sensitivity? Every time that we eat something sugary, especially refined sugar, that means white sugar, sugar sweetened beverages, and things that are low in fiber and low in water content, maybe it's something like apple juice, soda, of course candies, cookies. When we eat these things, our blood sugar spikes, right? The glucose in our blood rises, and that releases insulin. So our pancreas releases insulin, the hormone that helps get these sugars into the cells. And if we are having too much sugar, our bodies are basically becoming numb to being able to use insulin and to be able to have insulin get sugar into the cells, and it's just insulin doesn't work properly. So we're not as insulin sensitive. We want to really be sensitive to that hormone insulin so that when it's present in our bloodstream, it's really able to work properly, okay? I know Dr. Neil Barnard, he is famous for his theory that when we have a high-fat diet, we have too much fat, whether it be in our diet or on our bodies even, it's going to gum up the receptor for insulin to work properly, and insulin stays in the bloodstream instead of actually doing its job to get blood glucose into the cell. So it's so important to manage our nutrition and to make sure we're at a healthy weight that allows us to really be utilizing our blood sugars and our insulin. Vegan diets not only improve our microbiome, but they also have been shown to help with weight and in insulin sensitivity, okay? And this is so important to point out too for my food freedom and body image clients out there who think that their weight is so tied up with their self-worth. No, maybe we're so excited about really improving our health and what we're eating on the day-to-day, and maybe have a goal to lose weight, more so for our insulin sensitivity and to feel energized and excited about making sure we don't get diabetes, right? Instead of having it have to be something to do with our self-worth and having it have to do with our appearance, okay? So keeping that in mind, let's eat more plants, okay? And eat less highly processed foods, eat less fried foods, eat less sugary foods, and less animal products that are high in fat. According to a systematic review and meta-analysis of prospective cohort studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, January 8th, 2020, dietary intakes of tofu, soy protein, and soy isoflavones are inversely associated with incidence of type 2 diabetes. It states that our findings support recommendations to increase intakes of certain soy products for the prevention of type 2 diabetes. Very cool. So there's so much research out there. I'm really just going over some recent articles in the past year that are really interesting. So people think that soy is so bad for us. Soy, people are like, oh no, phytoestrogens, oh no, this is terrible. I've done videos in the past going over the myths about soy and how soy is actually great for us, and now there's research out there that soy isoflavones and soy and different legumes are actually beneficial for our insulin sensitivity and for prevention of diabetes. How interesting, all right? So something to keep in mind, and to not be afraid of plant-based sources of protein. Also, according to an article published June 18th, 2020 in Medscape Medical News, the article titled Gestational Diabetes Cut with Plant-Based Diet Before Pregnancy. According to this article, from these results, we can say that a pre-pregnancy plant-based diet, particularly one that also limits unhealthful plant-based foods such as refined grains, potatoes, and sugar-sweetened foods and beverages, may be associated with a lower risk of gestational diabetes. Interesting. So gestational diabetes, this is actually really common. How cool that knowing we can do a lot. People think that we're victims and that this happens to us and like, oh no, there's nothing I can do about this, I'm gonna get diabetes, blah blah blah. Actually no. Plant-based diet, eating mostly plant foods, wholesome plant foods, has been shown to really reduce our risk of not only type 2 diabetes and lots of other chronic diseases, but also gestational diabetes, which a lot of women think is totally out of their control, and it's something that is inevitable. And yeah, there's actually something that you can do, and that's eating more plants. How exciting. Also excited to share this article published in MSN News, the Microsoft News Network. This was published August 23rd, 2020. This article is titled 4 Science-Backed Reasons That People with Diabetes Can Eat Fruit Worry-Free. One of the first things that this article points out is that flavonoids in fruit have been proven to prevent against type 2 diabetes, all right? Harvard's long-running nurses' health study found that women who consume more anthocyanins, which are the pigment that makes blueberries blue and strawberries red, were less likely to develop type 2 diabetes than women who consumed fewer of these health-promoting compounds. I love getting nerdy about anthocyanins, so that's that dark red color in cherries and beets. Getting in our colors is so important. All the colors of fruits and vegetables, each one has a magical component. These are phytochemicals or plant chemicals, phytonutrients. The word phyto means plant, so you can only find them in plants, and they have a lot of beneficial compounds. And yeah, anthocyanins have been related to significantly reducing risk of type 2 diabetes. Also, studies have shown that, of course, plant-based nutrition has been shown to decrease inflammation, and fruit has anti-obesity effects. So, of course, fruit, something that people are so scared to eat when they get diagnosed with diabetes, because sure, it is higher in sugar. However, fruit has lots of fiber, fruit has high water content. So I recommend my diabetics, instead of choosing things like raisins and dates and apple juice, which are low in either fiber or water content, making sure you're eating things like berries. Adding blueberries to your high carbohydrate meals has actually been shown to decrease a blood sugar spike. Blueberries are so high in antioxidants and fiber that they really blunt blood sugar spikes. How amazing is that? Eating things like apples. Apples have a skin, they have that added fiber. Oranges, super juicy, they have fiber in there as well. Making sure we're eating our juicy fruits, things with a skin and things with high water content. If you're concerned about fruit as a diabetic, again, avoid the fruit juices and avoid the dried fruits, and you are going to be fine. Also, fruit has been shown to prevent against chronic disease. So in general, there is so much research out there that fruit is related to prevention and treatment and even reversal of lots of different chronic diseases. So if you know somebody who's concerned about their sugar intake, concerned about diabetes, we do not want to be decreasing our fruit intake, our pomegranate intake, our strawberry intake. These foods are so healthy for us. Make sure that you get so excited about including these. And if you do have sweetness cravings, how perfect to go for some fruit instead of something like candy or a cookie or ice cream, okay? It's gonna be so much better for your energy, for your mood, for your gut microbiota, for everything all around to choose fruit instead of these processed, packaged, sugary foods, okay? Just, yes, get excited about fruit, all right? And when it comes to depression, so let's talk more about the gut and diabetes prevention and depression prevention. According to this longitudinal population-based study that was published October 20th, 2020 in Medical Dialogues, these findings establish temporal association between hyperglycemia, that's high blood sugar, and incident depressive symptoms, supporting the concept that hyperglycemia, or high blood sugar, itself is involved in the etiology or the cause of depression, and thus may provide a potential target for the prevention of depression in individuals with and without type 2 diabetes. So this is really incredible research that they found, because they are realizing that, oh my gosh, even if somebody does not have diabetes, when we are taking in a cookie, for example, we think that it's gonna help us feel better. We're like, oh, I just wanna treat myself. I just need a little pick-me-up. I'm gonna have something sweet. I'm gonna eat this sweet treat. And what happens is our bodies get, oh my gosh, this shoot up of feel-good hormones, and that leads to a crash. We want to be stable, calm, energized, productive throughout the day and have stable blood sugars throughout the day. We don't want to have a spike because after a spike, just like with caffeine, we have this spike of energy, the caffeine crash, we end up feeling so much more tired than we did before we had the caffeine. It's kind of like that with blood sugar. Our body is like, oh my gosh, the blood sugar is way too high, let's bring this down. And with that downward of the roller coaster of blood sugar after having just an acute situation with something super sweet, that can cause, from feeling really good and like all those feel good comfort hormones, like oh my gosh, yum yum yum, amazing amazing amazing, that can crash down. Maybe it causes headaches, maybe it causes fatigue, irritability, mood swings, and depression. And of course, with our gut microbiome, when we're eating things that are highly refined, highly processed, we're not feeding the good bacteria in our gut that are so related with sustained feel-good neurotransmitters and feel-good hormones. So this knowledge, let this allow us to truly practice self-care instead of self-destruction in times of stress, in times of overwhelm. We want to be reaching towards the alcohol and the cupcakes, the goodies, the sweets, the treats, and self-destruct, basically. We think that that's going to be helpful, when in reality, self-discipline, the word disciple, that means to be of loving service, to support someone. Let's be our own disciples, practice self-discipline, of being of loving service to ourselves, and instead of going for the sweets, the cookies, the ice cream, to have that false sense of feel good and then leading to a crash causing depression, according to this research, let's actually go for the fruit. Let's go for a walk. Let's meditate. Let's take a bubble bath. What is it that we can do to practice self-care instead of self-destruction? Let's prevent these depressive symptoms, because that actually ultimately leads to cravings for more sugar. We attach this feel good to the sugar almost as if it's a drug, because yeah, it causes an oxytocin release. It causes that feel good neurotransmitter and hormone release. We don't want that false sense of feeling good. We want a true self-care, health, feeling good, not being needing anything to help us get there. However, my food freedom and body image and just, you know, living our best lives, we want to be able to indulge once in a while, and let's do that mindfully and get really excited about it and fully enjoy it in the moment. I don't want anybody listening to this or watching this feeling guilty or scared or have fear around having that cookie. When we are truly allowing ourselves to feel grateful about eating this delicious treat and to savor it and to be like, wow, what a special treat, this is amazing, that is definitely going to cause a different response in our bodies than when we bite into it and we have a lot of fear and anxiety around it and we're resisting it, and then we end up binging on it because we're like, this is a bad thing, I shouldn't be doing this, and we feel so rebellious and we go hide in our closets and eat the whole fucking pan of cookies or whatever it is. Way worse for us. That's not gonna be as healthy as this thing, like this birthday cake or a celebratory thing, or like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to try this ice cream, this vegan ice cream place. Like, this can be an incredible experience that's part of your balanced, holistically healthy lifestyle. And just knowing that when we are experiencing lots of depressive symptoms or going through a hard time, the sugary sweets and alcohol, this is not going to help, okay? I hope that was beneficial for you. So interesting. According to another article published in Medical Dialogues on October 25th, 2020, researchers have found for the first time in a rigorously controlled clinical trial that people with diabetes don't need to avoid potatoes. Wow, even in the earlier study I mentioned around gestational diabetes, they said that avoiding potatoes was beneficial. However, according to this study, it is said that potatoes with high glycemic index should be avoided by diabetics as they may adversely affect blood sugar, but the study indicates that glycemic index is not an accurate surrogate for an individual's glycemic response to a food consumed as part of an evening meal. Their overnight glycemic response was more favorable after eating the evening meal that included any of the high glycemic index potato side dishes compared to low glycemic index basmati rice. These findings are contrary to that of observational research, that traditional dietary guidance that has led some people to believe that potatoes are not an appropriate food choice for people with type 2 diabetes. Our studies show that high glycemic index foods like potatoes can be consumed as part of a healthy evening meal without negatively affecting glycemic response, and while delivering key nutrients in relatively few calories, which is essential for people with type 2 diabetes. Potatoes, they're so amazing. Potatoes are actually an incredible source of potassium, which potassium, it's a really important electrolyte that has been shown to improve our muscle maintenance, to maintain our muscle mass long term. So older men a long time who eat more plants, who eat more bananas, dates, potatoes, they've been shown to more easily maintain their muscle mass because potassium is such an essential electrolyte. If you're taking in a lot of potassium, you're more, I'm repeating myself, but you're more likely to maintain your muscle mass long term. It's just so interesting to me that people think that things like rice, potatoes, fruit, these foods are unhealthy for diabetics. That is not the case. Across the board, a plant-based diet over and over and over and over again. Yes, eating these foods that are high in carbohydrates, people are so scared of them, when the reality is the vast majority of research has shown this is going to really significantly improve overall health, improve our risk of developing diabetes, reverse prediabetes, reverse current diabetes, and definitely reduce our risk of dying from coronavirus, okay? So if there's anything that you got from this video, know that incorporating more wholesome plant foods like potatoes and fruits are not only going to help with your gut microbiota, with your mood, and with your diabetes risk, but also with your overall health, your energy, and being that confident role model that you really want to be in this life, all right? You are choosing these wholesome, healthy foods, not because it has to do with how you look in the mirror or being able to impress others and, you know, just caring what other people think. This is truly about you living your best life and being who you want to be for your career, for your family, for your friends, and being free and holistically healthy. That is what I'm talking about, okay? So eat those fruits, eat those potatoes, get so excited about taking care of yourself throughout this holiday season. Let's not add to the statistic of pre-diabetics right now, okay? You have it in you. You have the power to take responsibility for your health future. So let's do this together right now. Please comment below what is one vegetable, one fruit that you're adding to your lifestyle to reverse your risk of depression and diabetes. Comment below, hit me up on Instagram, let me know what you got from this video, from this podcast at vitamin.katie. Again, click the link to apply for a free initial consultation. I would love to get to know you. If there's anything I can do to help you, to help hold you accountable, to improve your health for the long term, sustainably, with a plant-based diet and mindset practices, you can do this, all right? Let's get after it. So much love. Bye.